Das ist gut. Ich möchte die Chance nutzen, du hast jetzt über die Kampagne auch von Jacques
I'd like to use the occasion now that Chaminad's campaign has been mentioned.
Für Freude und Optimismus ist.
We have a real grounds for joy and optimism because Chaminade is waging this campaign now for a world without Wall Street and the city. He's giving a lot of interviews and he always brings up the empire, financial empire on a worldwide level and the need for a Glass-Steagall. So in that context, I would like to take this question from our friend Jean Douglas on the one hand, who wishes all of us a happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Is the victory of Putin in Russia, with the campaign of Chaminade in France, with the Walter Jones resolution in the United States, and with the coming referendum in Ireland over the austerity pact, is it not the case that the British Empire is getting a bit nervous, that they're afraid? And the second question came from Canada, where somebody would like to know how many people really understand what the British Empire is, because the war danger is more and more obvious. For example, we have this Netanyahu-Obama meeting and the long tradition in the military in Great Britain and the United States. But how many people understand this, and what can we do? How can we get this notion of the British Empire better understood?
Well, I believe that the question of what an empire is has to be looked at historically. My husband has compared that to a slime mold. Whoever has seen a video of how a slime mold is developing, sometimes it's green, sometimes brown, gray, it also changes its shape, but it always is a slime mold. And if you think about the Roman Empire, before obviously the Persian Empire, but let's start with the Roman one, is a good model for what we are discussing as the British Empire today. The shapes obviously have changed. The persons are not running around as legions as in old Rome, but today it is a financial oligarchy. What the Roman aristocracy used to be, and bread and circus, where Christians were burned in the circus, has been modernized, but the continuity of the empire, where a small oligarchical upper class, which uses the control of the military and trade, which then also developed into the Byzantium Empire and then into Venice, which then changed into the Anglo-Dutch Empire and also the Anglo-American Empire of today. The structures are that a small oligarchical elite by all means defends its interests, that it uses monetarism, uses free trade, and consciously keeps the mass of the people underdeveloped. And if you take this as a model, then you will not be distracted by the modern forms. What used to be the circus are video games today. What used to be the burning of Christians today is the pop culture, which consciously stupefies people. What I usually don't do, but sometimes do, zapping from one TV program to the other. If you go to Gottschalk, Musikantenstadel, Germany's Next Top Model, and similar things, the different groups of the society have everybody their thing, which completely stupefies them and banalizes their thinking, and takes all their so precious time, which then they are not using to develop their own mind and their own creativity. So it is very clear that how these control mechanisms actually work. And if you look at the idea of the empire as monetarism, as a green ideology, and that all based on the same axiomatic principles, that we are living in a reductive system, a confined system where sustainability and only the usage of few technology is implemented, then you see that it's all part of the same system. That is, the hedge funds from the top elites, partly in London, and also the nobility, operate this system to invest in renewable energies, to invest in CO2 papers, which is a complete bubble, and the whole climate change, which is real and which is a gigantic process. We are dealing with cosmic processes which put our system into a situation, our Earth into a situation where in the history of life on this Earth, roughly every 65 million years, these great extinction events came about, which are connected to our galaxy. And that is the implication that we are coming into a period now which has led to extinction periods in the past. Obviously, there is a climate change, but there is no anthropological climate change that is as ridiculous as having a fly on the back of an elephant, and that elephant will not even recognize. If we stop all CO2 emissions here in Germany, then there would be 0.0007% less, which is neglectable. But a whole group of professors running after their bread, all with the idea of keeping the population limited, of not developing industries, technology, which does lead to the hunger crisis that we see in the east of Africa, on the Horn of Africa right now. And it's the green ideology, the monetarism in its perverted shape that we see in the casino economy in the last times, and the oligarchical system are all part of the same axiomatic structure. And that is what we really have to understand, because then it becomes clear that the British Empire is not the persons living in Great Britain being condemned to being subjects of the crown, but it is the financial power of investment banks, hedge funds, insurance companies. This system of the casino economy is now collapsing, and that is a breaking point where we can be very optimistic, because this system will go down, and that is not bad at all. If we would implement a credit system now to invest in basic research, in higher energy flux densities for an increase in production, we could very quickly raise the living standard and also the life expectancy. Why should we not just repeat the German miracle in Germany, but also in Greece, in Africa, and basically every place where man should have a better life.